Hi, Dave Dickey here. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, NLP practitioner, and theta healing practitioner. I'm also a law of attraction life coach. I've spent almost 50 years learning, developing, and studying the mind, the processes of the mind, the energies and the universal principles, and how that all connects with spirit in order to be able to help you discover how powerful you are, so that you can start living a life on your terms, not according to someone else's version of your life. In the next few minutes, I'm going to be going over three important areas of life: self, which is very important, business, and family. And I hope you stay with it. There's some important information there, and some of it may ring true to some of you. I'd also like you to fill in the email information at the bottom. I can help you change your life for the better. I can help you even if you're on top and you want to stay on top and not sure how to do that. I can help. Also, be sure to watch the videos below and sign up for the Mastermind Intensive, the 30-day Mastermind Intensive at a massive discount. And don't forget, there's a raffle. And the raffle winner is a massive discount winner for the 30-day Mastermind Intensive. You'll be amazed at how much you can save with the raffle. So check out all the information, the PDFs and the videos. Be sure to check out my website and fill out the email information at the bottom. And I could start helping you change your life for 2021. Let's get out of 2020 and let's do it together. You know, life has a lot of surprises for us, and a lot of times the downs seem to be more than up. And there's a lot of fear and uncertainty in the world. And you know, we're never really taught to deal with that as children. We're taught to toe the line, we're taught to do what others say, someone else's version of your life, and that everything will be just fine as long as you behave and perform exactly how you're being told to. Well, what we find out later on as adults is it just doesn't work. Go to school, get a good job, get a good family, and everything will be fine. Well, nobody fills in the pieces for you. They say, well, you know, you have to make that work. Well, how do I do that? How do I make that work? We're never taught that as kids. And so you become an adult and you try to slog through all the crap that everyone hands you, and you fail to realize that it's all programming. Programming from your family, programming that starts even in the womb with your environment and the way that your parents behave. Programming from your friends and all of their fears and programming from your work environment. So all of these things are hitting you like a ton of bricks from all different angles. Bang, 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 bang. And what do? There's only so many hours in the day. And when you're not sure and you're not aware of what's really going on, then it's hard to handle. And you become confused and you become sad and you have sleepless nights and you try your best and you constantly say, I'm doing the best I can, but it doesn't seem to change anything because you're not aware. You're not aware of how you got there. And once you start becoming aware of how you got there, then you can start becoming aware of how you can control it. You see, nobody wants you to really know that you can control everything, because then they can't control you. Everyone is looking for control, and everyone is trying to control something because deep inside they feel like they're out of control, and they are. Most people run around and they don't have any idea that they could control every aspect of their lives. They look to others. We're always taught to look to others. Well, how do I do this? Well, find somebody. Well, what do I do about this? Go look for somebody. And we're never taught as children or as teenagers to go inside. where the real intelligence lies. We are all divine spiritual beings with exactly the same power as each other. And yet, some exceed and some fail. Why is that? Why is it that you could take two salesmen, put them on the same route? One salesman makes $10 million, the other salesman makes 1,000 on the same route. How does that happen? It's all about your internal processes and your programming. And once you figure that out, you can start going down that happy road, that positive road that runs away from fear and worry and goes into positive control. Instead of waking up and saying, oh, I've got to do this and I've got to do that, you wake up and you say, I'm getting this done, and then I'm going to go have some fun. One of the things that we're never taught to do is celebrate the little things. I am a big believer in celebrating every single win, no matter how small. And it doesn't have to be the way I celebrate. Sometimes just a bowl of ice cream, and that's all you need. Sometimes you go out for a drink with your buddies. Sometimes you treat yourself to a great movie. But you always need to be celebrating. You always need to be looking towards what makes you happy. Because if you're not happy, nothing else matters. And I want you to think about this. What if 80% of the people of the world spent 80% of their day being happy? What would that look like? What would your life look like if that happened? Today's business world can get crazy. Things are changing at a rapid pace. But one of the things that never really changes in business is the cohesiveness that is necessary between managers and employees. A well-oiled machine means that all the pieces fit together perfectly and run smoothly in order to produce whatever it is that machine is producing. The machine has two very important parts. Number one is the management. The second part is the employees. And these two parts need to play together, and they need to understand what the game is and what the rules are. And two of the pieces in that are common respect and understanding of each other. But there's also a third piece. And that third piece is individual responsibility. Whatever you bring to the table, whether you're in management or you're an employee, should be totally on you. The old days of pointing fingers of he said, she said, and, I didn't get the raise because Johnny said something to the secretary and all of this other crap. Well, that has to go out the window. If you're ever going to succeed in business in any form, whether you're a CEO or you're a small business owner, or you're just a guy that doesn't want all that responsibility and just wants to get his 40 hours in and get paid, no matter what you want for yourself in business, that individual responsibility has to take a front and center stage. As an employee, we go and we find a job and, okay, so we're in, right? And it's a job, okay, so maybe we don't want it that much, but it's a job, right? And it took us a while to get that job. And so we don't really bring 100% to the job. Sometimes we do, but, it's just, there's a feeling, right? As managers, we try to hire the best people possible under the circumstances that we have, and we only have a limited number of tools available. Now, both of these situations could be greatly enhanced by the individual becoming self-aware of just how powerful they really are. I've had many managers say to me, how do I get better employees? I need to change my hiring process. And I said, no, there's nothing wrong with your hiring process. You need to change your mental process. The same goes for employees. Why do I keep getting these idiot bosses? Why is every day the same and it's horrible? It's not the job. It's really not the job. It's your mental processes. It's how you go about your daily life. They always say, don't bring your work home with you. Well, the problem is nobody has ever taught you how to not bring life into your job. And if you do bring life into your job and your life is full of fear and uncertainty and anger and disappointment, well, how do you think your day is going to be at work? As a boss, you can't walk in there and be all grumpy and dismissive. Nobody's going to want to work for you. As an employee, you can't go in there and be argumentative or silent or stare at your phone all day. No one's going to want you there. So now what? It's really no one else's fault except yours. And for most of it, you're not to blame. You're not aware. So the way to end all that frustration and hardship is to start becoming aware of your own spiritual existence, aware of just how powerful you are, and start changing your life in a positive way. Once you start changing your life and see these changes happening, it won't be restricted to your personal life. It'll flow out like a river, and you'll see changes in your relationships. You'll see changes in your day-to-day activities. And most importantly for business, you will see changes on the job. Changes that sometimes you thought in the past impossible. How is it my boss is suddenly nice to me? How is it that my employees start doing all the things I want them to do without me having to say anything? These are the things that'll let you know that real positive mental change is happening. So if your life at work and business is confused and you're not certain about how to change it, you need to start becoming aware of yourself and start making the changes that are long lasting. Parenting is one of the hardest jobs in the world. There is no parent in the world that will dispute that fact. We're not given a book when children come out. I mean, there's a lot of books, but they're all after the thought. No one's born with the concept of parenting. No one's born knowing how to parent. And it makes it really difficult, especially if you're not aware of your true nature. I mean, you can barely get through your own life without ups and downs and more downs than ups. And now you have these beings that you have to take care of and you have to instruct and you have to care for. And now because of your conditional programming, you're taught to worry about them. And, you judge yourself and you guilt yourself. And, oh, am I being a good parent? Am I being a bad parent? Should I let them do this? Should I not let them do that? And a lot of the time, you're filled with a sense of fear and uncertainty about the future of your children, and all you want is the best life possible for them. But how do you do that? One way is to start taking control of not only your own life, but how your children control theirs. Conscious parenting has been a big concept for quite a few decades now. One of the main things involved with conscious parenting is awareness of your own self, because you, as the parent, are an example to the children. They look to you for guidance and appreciation and acknowledgement and love. And and we know how smart children are, and it seems funny that every decade they get smarter and smarter. But we know that if they are watching you, they are learning from you. For instance, you see a lot of videos on YouTube, and it really bothers me that, there's parents, and I don't know why people post these, and I'm not going to judge anyone, but, you see a parent, they're pregnant, they're holding a 2-year-old, they're smoking while they're screaming at their neighbor. What kind of life is that child experiencing as an example on how to be an adult, how to live their life. This is what I'm talking about here. Every second of every day that your child is in existence, they are learning. They are being programmed just like you. Your mind is a computer, and everything that hits it is a program, and it goes into your subconscious. And whether you like it or not, you manifest 24/7. And your child is no different. So your child is like a sponge, and they take in all this information from everywhere. From grandma, from Uncle Bill, from neighbor Tony, from mom and dad, and everyone, the friends of mom and dad. Everyone is an influence when it comes to your children. That's why parenting is so hard. You need to make sure that there is a barrier of sorts around your child, an energy barrier. You remember how they say your top 5 friends are your top 5 influences? Well, the same goes for your parenting. Who is it in your family that has access to your children? Who? Who is it that is going to, just by a comment, program your child? If you have to be careful, because every single word, every glance, every action is programming the child for the future. And one of the ways to start with a positive programming is to become self-aware. You are the example. So if you don't love yourself, how can you teach your children how to love themselves? Which is ultimately what we need to do.